The Paris Olympics are now just under 12 months away, and South Africa will be looking to send a strong contingent to the French capital. Hoping to be part of that contingent is the women's national hockey team. Of course, South Africa has sent its women's team to the Tokyo Olympics 2 years ago, but they unfortunately did not achieve what they had set themselves out for. The team's co-captain, Erin Christie, gunning for a different story next year, the kind of story that she herself is all too familiar with. It is a story of never giving up, even in trying times. Christie and the ladies have the African Olympic qualifiers in October as they chase that ticket to Paris. She's joining me now to chat about all of this via Zoom. Erin, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Let's actually throw forward to Paris. Let's speak it into existence. Let's say that you guys are actually going to be boarding that flight and heading over to the Olympics, your second successive Olympics after Tokyo, and that you guys are going to be doing something that is extraordinary, considering what we've seen from all the women's national teams this year, cricket, football. Just talk to us about what it is in terms of you as the co-captain that you've set your sights for.
Yeah, so I think for us, obviously, the first thing for us would be to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games, and we do that at the end of October, 29th of October to 5th of November in Pretoria. We go to the African Road to Paris Olympics, and in order to qualify, we need to win that tournament. And yeah, once we qualify, then we full steam ahead, and everything we do from there on out would be to make sure that by the time we get to the Olympic Games, we can play the best hockey we can play, and that we represent our country and the rest of the South African hockey community as best we can.
I don't want to put a dampener or be a devil's advocate in this particular case, Erin, but it is a conversation that was once had in the lead up to the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio, where qualifying through the African champs wasn't deemed good enough by SASCOC. Is that we don't have that problem this year, or at least this year, next year, right?
So I think with the 2020 Olympics, I know that SASCOC made a different decision, and they decided that any athlete that qualifies will attend. To my knowledge, I'm not sure whether SASCOC will send us if we do qualify, but as far as I am aware, once we win that African Cup of Nations and we get our tickets to the Paris Olympics, that our team will be on the plane with the rest of Team South Africa, joining them in representing our country and showing that we deserve to be on the biggest international sporting stage.
Right. Ryobi won't quit crew. Let's talk about that, because this is really why we're even having this conversation, you and I, where I mentioned in my intro that you essentially are the epitome of not ever trying to quit. The South African women's national hockey team is about not quitting ever. Just what is that about, the won't quit crew?
Yeah, so for me, I feel super privileged to be included in that Ryobi Won't Quit crew. It's a platform for sporting people who have defied some odds, and I think as a South African women's hockey player, we are a non-professional team, and so daily there are odds that we have to defy. So for me to be given the opportunity to be a part of that Won't Quit crew and to have a platform to speak about the resilience, I hope to inspire other young sports people who also face challenges in their career, inspire them to continue and inspire them, to keep pushing those boundaries. But for the South African women's hockey team, we really are a team that has faced many challenges, and, we keep pushing and we keep going, and it's because of the passion and the love that we have for the sport and our country.
Just before I let you go, Erin, do you ever see the sport in this country being professionalized? So much is being done, around the world to firstly recognize your guys' talents. We're being included in the FIH Pro League, and we're going to World Cups, we're going to Olympics, but we are still not a professional sport. In fact, I want to make it a gender thing. Women's sports, majority of them in this country, if not all of them, are not professional. Do you see South African women's hockey being professionalized?
So for me, speaking as a South African women's hockey player, and we've seen how the netball team has done, and we've seen how Banyana done, there's no doubt that South African women are talented. The talent is definitely here. We are talented enough to compete with the best in the world. The problem that comes in with hockey in particular is the financial support. We are competing against teams that are professional. They are together 40 weeks of the year, whereas our team, we're together less than 20 weeks, maybe even less than 10 weeks of the year. So for us, funding is a massive issue. And until we get that financial support and the ability to be together on a more professional level, it does become difficult to compete with teams that are professional. But we're a resilient team. We hope that someone will jump on board and support our journey, because we have got so much to show the world. And I speak on behalf of the hockey team, but other women's sport in South Africa too. The talent is there. It's just the financial backing that needs to be put in place so that we can make sure that when we get to those international competitions, we can be prepared and show exactly what we are made of.
What are you going to show us that you're made of when you get to the Olympics next year? Again, I want to say that I'm putting it out there into the universe to say that I'm speaking it into existence. When you get out into Paris next year, what exactly is it that you're going to show us? Are you going to be there beating the best of the best? Are you going to show that what you did in Tokyo wasn't a fluke, that you actually can, as you mentioned, show the talent and that you can really beat the best in the world? What are you setting yourself up for in Paris?
So I think the first thing for us is we're not going to Paris just to participate. That is something that our squad we've made very clear to one another, that we don't want to go to Paris and just participate. We want to go to Paris and compete. Every single game, it doesn't matter what our opposition looks like. We want to go there and compete. We want to make sure that on the sporting field, we are determined, resilient, and we're putting up a good fight. Results-wise, it will depend on our pool, and it also depends on the preparation we get beforehand. There's lots of plans in place for good preparation, but as I've mentioned previously, a lot of it is funding dependent. So we're hoping that we do get the funding so we can prepare as best as possible and go there as prepared as we would like to be. But definitely the message in the South African women's hockey camp is we're not going there to participate, we're going there to compete. And that's something that we really all feel very strongly about. And we're hoping we get the preparation that sets us up to go there and compete with the best in the world.
Erin, all the best with the Africa Cup of Nations. We do know, as South African sports lovers, that you guys are going to fly this flag high and really represent us and get your ticket to Paris for the Olympics in 2024. That is South Africa's women's hockey co-captain, Erin Christie, just talking to us, of course, about just the resilience of the South African women's hockey team and what it is they are looking to do in terms of the Africa Cup of Nations, which will, when they win it, will see them qualify for next year's Olympics.